Hi Rob,
Hey Borage.
how you doing?
I'm well, yeah. I'm sitting in the rather beautiful, decorated by me downstairs toilet of my house in Stroud.
Some classy pieces of artwork behind you there.
Thank you.
I'm also in the toilet. This is my brand new, freshly made compost loo. Um, but just to clarify, we're in, not on. Yeah. So Rob, why are we here? What are we doing?
Why are we here? Well, in a very specific function today, Borage. We dreamed up this idea of bringing something a bit more of ourselves in advance of the event. So I recently joined Men's Nation for about the fourth time I've been, and I'm in the collective and I am taking on the role of the welcomer. Each of us in the circle, the collective, has a different role, and Borage here is the dreamer. So, dreaming up questions, we came up with some fairly juicy things that we'd like to talk about. So, what first drew you or brought you to what used to be called Menfest and is now Men's Nation?
Yeah. So I first heard about it through two dear friends, dear brothers, who are men I admire very much, who were involved back in the early days of the whole thing, and they were inviting me for the first couple of years of it, and I kept prioritizing other things until eventually I didn't. They were telling me it was so obviously my kind of thing, and eventually I made it, and I came because I was in a period of my life that I was looking for more support on my own journey, learning how to ask for support and ask for help, and just really needed brotherhood and to find out what that could possibly really mean.
Thank you. I'm tempted to respond. I will also be talking, and I'll be in Borage's position in the next video, so we will leave it there. So, second question, Borage, following on from that, normally I would respond in a conversational way, but so why would you say you are taking on the role that you are in the collective, the dreamer?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, did I choose it or did it choose me? I think the reality is a bit of both. Um, I I got involved in the collective in only my second year, and this is the sixth year that I would have been going, but we had a year off, so this is the fifth year, my fourth year being involved in the collective. And the reason for that, generally speaking, is that I wanted to support this whole endeavor whilst being supported by it. It just was obviously that kind of a thing. You know, we call it radical participation, but to support and be supported. And then this particular role, the dreamer, I was in this role last year, and then what was it, 4 years ago, you and I did it together. You were the dreamer, and I was the second, supporting you. And for me, there's something about my nature, my dreamy nature. I have a ridiculously high quantity of high quality dreams. I'm just that guy. And if I have an opportunity to really embody who I am in a way that feels like it's really in service of others, of community, that's where I want to be. That's where I get to be most in love and joy, in service of others, when I'm not trying to be a shape that I'm not in.
Lovely. Great advice for life. Don't try to be the shape you're not. So following from there, it flows quite nicely. What do you feel you will be bringing to the gathering in terms of like energy, activities, vibe in your role as the dreamer?
Yeah, good question. So, first of all, just to say that the dreamer for me, a couple of things, sort of most important things about embodying this direction, this role. One is being stood at that place where all things inevitably come to an end, and the spark of all things that begin. Being at that threshold and holding space there. And one of the ways that we might understand that is holding the door open as widely as possible for spirit, whatever that may mean to each of us, whatever that may mean to us. That's the kind of essence of the role. So what I endeavor to bring to that, first of all, is quiet mind. It's as empty a mind as possible, so that I am fully in service of what wants to end and fully in service of what's possible, without being attached to and deciding what has to end and what wants to begin. What you will probably see is me bringing gratitude, poetry, inspiration, bringing sparks of inspiration. So there's a creative side. It's but it's the creativity that comes from stillness, from out of the dark.
Nice, thank you. So Boris, just to round up our chat today, do you have a favorite memory or highlight of previous gatherings you'd like to share?
Yeah, so many good memories. Particularly what I want to share about are those moments, and maybe I'm just going to name a few rather than one in detail, but it's those moments that I felt inspired, really, really inspired. And there's a moment of that in every conversation I've had with every man, but in particular, it's when I have witnessed and been a part of men courageously showing up in our diversity, tackling our edges around difference and understanding. I say courageously because the inspiration comes when we're really humble and when we're open to learning from each other. So I can think in previous years, every time there's been an edge around gender identity, racial identity, sexual orientation identity, disability and accessibility, all these kind of things, and where we've had those edgy moments and we've come together, and I've seen men in our diversity being in service of something greater and more inclusive. To be honest, that's a lot of the reason. That's a lot of what gives me the energy and the motivation to just kind of do this voluntarily throughout the year. Is seeing the possibility of what we might become if we keep doing this.
Beautiful. Thank you, Boris. It's been a pleasure to kick this series off with you, and I look forward to this being part of the tapestry that we're weaving and the sparks that are coming down, taking flight in ember.
Great, thanks, Rob. One last question for me to you: does everyone have to do this in the toilet?